In this video, it is upgrade time for the Redcat Ascent-32 Endura, all of the suspension links plus the steering link. I think sometimes the parts that are on here actually are beneficial because they're just a little bit springy, if you will. Just a little bit. And you can see this here. I mean, I can even flex that front bar. I hope you can see that there in the camera. Like, it's a little bit flexy. And I think if this is going to be driven by maybe a younger driver or someone who's just really going to kind of drive it more like a monster truck instead of a crawler, then the flex in all of these links is going to help make sure that stuff doesn't break. However, if you are going to be more serious crawling with it and a little bit less monster trucking, then stiffening up all of these links with these Endura parts is a way to make sure that the truck responds and handles like you want it to, also with adding just a little bit of weight kind of down in the right spots. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is RoadsideRC. You'll tend to find me bashing or crawling or drifting or racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. We're going to get started in the install of these parts by getting the body off and the tires and wheels off. Upgrade the truck with all of these links really only required a couple tools: 4mm nut driver to get the wheels off, 0.050 inch hex driver for all of the hardware, a pair of needle nose pliers just to help my big fat hands out a couple times, and then some blue thread locker just for those couple screws up here where I needed it because I already had the brass parts. Otherwise, you probably won't even need that if this is the first modification you're doing to the truck. We're going to start with the easy part, which is these steering linkages up here. One screw here, one screw here, one screw there on the servo horn, and both of these two linkages do come off of it. But before we take them off, we do want to lay the new Endura parts kind of next to them, and notice that there's a little bit different design philosophy here. The longer link down here on the bottom is going to be roughly the same design, but notice that it has a little threaded embossed area here. The Endura link, instead of being designed to go all the way over here to the hub, actually stops short and turns 90 degrees. So it's actually going to connect to that link like this, instead of connecting all the way to the hub at the very end. I don't believe it'll have any change in geometry or really any change in performance. No, I think it's just kind of interesting that Endura decided to do it that way instead. Our MIP 0.050 inch driver here makes short work of getting these two screws out. The parts that come here with the Endura kit, no instructions, so we kind of have to figure it out on our own. Hopefully me figuring it out helps you out. 4 ball pivots here, all that are symmetrical, 2 with an additional standoff. Not exactly sure where these need to go yet. On this longer piece, we do need the standard flanges in each end in order to fit into the hubs. When you assemble these ends, you put the ball stud in, and then you take one of these rubber O-rings and you fit it over one side, take another one, fit it over the other side. And that's what gives you that pivot ball end with a little bit of resistance, metal in metal. 2 things to note as you're putting this back on. 1, the ball studs just barely fit in those hubs. There is no extra wiggle room, so you got to get them lined up just right to get in. I reused the factory screw over here because I liked its nice smooth shank. Over here on this side, I'm going to use one of the screws from the Endura kit, but note that they have multiple different lengths of screws in here, so you want to make sure you get the one that's just long enough to go through there. A couple of these are actually too long and they'll end up sticking out on the bottom. And I'm using thread locker on these because these are going to be metal screws into, I already have the brass Endura hubs here on the end, so I'm putting thread locker on it. If you're putting this into the plastic hubs, then you don't need to worry about that. On this drag link that attaches to the servo, this is where I'm going to use one of those flanged ball nuts in order to space it off the servo just a little bit more. Plenty long screw to go in through that. Standard one with a screw that goes down in this way. Again, thread locker on this one because it's going to go into that metal drag link. This one's going into the factory plastic servo horn, so I'm not too worried about that. Screwing those in, we now have our front assembly all back together, looking great. Now we flip the truck over. It looks like they're actually made this pretty easy on us. We're going to start by getting these out of the package and actually lining them up shortest to longest and start trying to match them up length to length, length to length with the factory links. This is very important to be very diligent and very careful here. It looks like all 4 sets of links here should be different lengths and different geometries, but it's just good to double check. With this, there's quite the pile of little O-rings plus pivot balls, so all of those need to get assembled now that we have all this lined up. With all the links built and laid out, now it's just time to match them up. It's pretty easy to see which one goes where and potentially even how it is oriented. Perfect. If we work our way from longest to shortest, the longest here are the rear lower links. Comes in. I like this hardware on this truck, if I'm honest. I do like the design. I like how they've laid out the links on here. They're all individually screwed together. Don't feel like I'm holding my breath as much as I take some of the parts. I think this is supposed to go back more smooth and then cut down to the axle to give you just that little bit more clearance and have the Endura face the correct direction. So that is how I'm going to guess that these need to go on. Again, the tolerances here are very tight. There it goes. Putting those same screws right back in. There we go. We are making progress. The next longest link is then the front lower arm right here. And again, same screw here in the center and the same shock screw. And those will come out and just swap right over easy. That one looks good, moves free still, no issues there. Third longest link is then going to be the upper rear. Get the screw right out of here. With both of those out, we should be able to fish it. With both of those out, we should be able to fish it through there. May need some needle nose pliers here to get us. Honestly, this one was a little more difficult to get a hold of with this other link in place. You might want to consider doing both of these at the same time, flopping one of this out of the way. And that means, of course, that our last one, our shortest one, is the link up front. And just like the other screws, we have a dedicated screw here and a dedicated screw here that get us access to that link. Ooh, look at us. We have all 4 links successfully installed now. That not only looks good, but of course, dramatically stronger than what we had before. I haven't done the other side yet, so I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to run over there and I'm going to do all of that. I don't think I'm going to run into any issues. It looks very symmetrical, but if I do, I'll let you know. All the parts are now installed. Everything fits beautifully, actually. A couple tight fits trying to get these ball ends in, but otherwise everything is just great. 164 kind of in a half-ish. So that means, you know, it probably basically negligible. 164 kind of in a half-ish. So that means, you know, it probably basically negligible, but 4.5 grams total in the truck. Down low where you would want that weight, definitely not a bad thing. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think that this modification is necessarily right for everybody. A little bit of give, a little bit of flex that are in those links can help, you know, save servos, can help save breaking other parts if the truck's going to be driven, let's say, aggressively, right, spiritedly. You might want to leave those parts on there. I am probably not going to be driving it like that, and so I think these stiffer links will help me overall with crawling, plus that extra 4 grams of weight that I got was all down low. So I think that's going to be good for me. If you have this Ascent-32 and you're doing upgrades to it, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you're curious about anything else Ascent related, I'll have a whole Redcat Ascent playlist that'll be popping up over here to your right. And I hope to see you in one of those videos. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.